Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's incredibly serious. It's a story that really serves as a heartbreaking warning for anyone who loves to travel, and it all comes from a tragedy that just never should have happened. Now, listen to these words. They aren't from some diplomat or a politician. These are the words of a grieving family. And that raw, unfiltered pain and frustration, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to unpack. So that's the big question, right? Why would a family in mourning say something so incredibly stark? For them to issue a warning like this, something must have gone terribly, terribly wrong. Not just the incident itself, but the entire search for answers that followed. To really understand that warning, we have to go back. We have to understand the story. And at the very heart of this story are two young women, Holly and Bianca. Holly and Bianca were just 19 years old. 19. They were best friends from Australia, out there exploring the world on what was supposed to be the absolute adventure of a lifetime. Their journey started with that same excitement, that same sense of freedom that so many of us look for when we travel. And when you look at the timeline of what happened, it's so fast, it's chilling. They got to Vang Vieng, which is this really popular spot for backpackers. They checked into their hostel, they had a drink that was poisoned without them knowing, and then just like that, they were gone. So what was it? The official cause of death was methanol poisoning. Now, this isn't the alcohol that's in beer or wine. Methanol is a toxic industrial chemical. And the scariest part? It's colorless and it's odorless. So if it's mixed into a drink, you'd have no idea. You wouldn't see it, you wouldn't smell it, not until it was already far too late. The tragedy itself is just horrific, right? But what happened after, that's where this story takes another dark turn. It's the reason their families are speaking out so forcefully. The aftermath turned into this desperate fight for just basic answers. After their daughters died, what did the families get? Basically, a wall of silence. The first thing you'd expect, right? A real, meaningful investigation into what happened? Nope, it never materialized. They tried. They tried to talk to authorities to just understand what went wrong. But there were no meetings, no updates, no communication at all. They were just left completely in the dark, grieving, thousands of miles from where their daughters died. Can you even imagine? And that's what it all leads to, isn't it? No investigation, no communication. That means zero accountability. To this day, no one has been held responsible for the deaths of Holly and Bianca. And for their families, that means no closure and absolutely no justice. And that right there, that's why they've issued this warning. It comes from a place of immense pain and this deep desire to prevent any other family from ever experiencing what they've been through. Their message is a direct plea to all travelers. Please, think twice. You know, this specific story is just heartbreaking, but it shines a huge spotlight on some of the broader, hidden dangers that can exist for travelers, really in many parts of the world. So what we're really talking about here is kind of like a perfect storm of risks. First, you've got unregulated, locally made drinks that can easily be contaminated. Second, you have weaker government oversight in some of these tourist hotspots where safety standards just aren't really enforced. And third, you have this backpacker fun reputation that can completely mask these really, really serious dangers lurking underneath. Okay, so hearing all this, it's easy to feel a little bit scared. But this isn't about not traveling. It's about being smart. It's about being aware and prepared. So let's actually walk through a simple safety playbook, some things you can do to help protect yourself out there. And honestly, these are super practical things to remember. First off, only buy drinks from reputable, licensed places. Maybe skip that unlabeled bottle from a street stall. 2, make sure you watch your drink being opened or poured right in front of you. 3, always have someone you trust back home who knows where you are and check in. 4, have your embassy's number and local emergency numbers saved in your phone before you need them. And 5, do your homework. Read official travel warnings and see what other recent travelers are saying online. Look, I know this stuff can sound like basic common sense, but as Holly and Bianca's story shows us, in the most tragic way possible, it's not trivial. When you're in another country and things go wrong, this kind of preparation can make all the difference. A little bit of caution, it really could save a life. And that really leaves us with one big, tough question to think about. We all travel for that sense of freedom, for adventure. But the story of Holly and Bianca is just this tragic reminder to ask ourselves, at what point does that adventure become a gamble? And that's something every single one of us should probably consider before we pack our bags.